Hello, well I'm here with Jimmy Love, he of the Rocket Man fame.
Yeah, it seems ridiculous, but here I am in the flesh and bones.
I just need to say that the Rocket Man obviously is a tribute to Elton John.
Sir Elton John, indeed, yes.
Sir Elton John, yes, yes. So, have you ever met Elton John?
I can say that I have technically been in the same room as him, because I went to see him in concert, but I've never met him. And I would love to. It'd be fascinating, but I'm not sure. Some artists view tributes less favourably or more favourably than others, and so I'm not sure. Elton has I suppose he has a reputation for being able to be short-tempered.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to be on the
receiving end,
on the wrong end of that wrong.
But no, I mean, what you're doing. Okay, so you are a tribute to Elton John. Mm-hmm. You're here with your Rocket Man show, which is organised by the Entertainers.
That's right. Yeah, Entertainers, show providers. .co.uk if you want to go and have a look.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that.
Entertainers.co.uk, please, yeah. They are the reason we are in theatres across the world.
And you're in glorious High Wycombe.
Oh, it is. Is High Wycombe a city?
I don't know. I'd have to check on that one.
Answers in the comments below, please.
Yeah, Google. I feel on that one. So you're travelling around England, and you do other countries as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen pictures of you in Norway. You mentioned the fact you're doing a month in France as well.
In June, we're in France. Yeah.
Doing the rock and roll thing.
Doing the whole tour bus, the sleeper tour bus, and the.
That's when you really need to get on with people, isn't it?
Catering.
That's when you know who your friends are.
They look after us. They really do. It's always a pleasure.
Excellent.
Yeah, you should definitely come. I mentioned before, didn't I? But
yes, I'd have to ask the wife on that.
Clear it with the wife and come along. Yeah,
just for a couple of nights. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll be enough. Yeah.
So I tell you what, we could video it. We could do like a video diary of the 2 days.
Absolutely not. What happens in France? No, you can.
We'll delete those bits.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Walk around with the GoPro on or something.
You would need to, yeah.
So okay, well let's talk about your show. That's why we're here to. You do also a 2-hour show.
Yeah, tonight's show is 2 hours separated by a 20-minute interval in which people can get refreshments.
Light refreshments.
And crisps.
Light refreshments and crisps. Yes, what's okay, I'm going to jump in with some Elton John stuff here.
Okay.
Elton John songs and that. So that's what we want to talk about. So what is your favourite Elton John song?
Still Tiny Dancer. After all these years, I'm in High Wycombe, Tiny Dancer.
Yes.
It's just such a beautiful. The lyrics are pretty expressive and evocative, and I think it's some of Elton's finest work.
Yeah.
The riff that sort of continues throughout the verse is and then just the chorus. Everything about that song is just spot on. I
mean, a lot of the songs about that Elton John wrote were about him, weren't they? Really? I mean, they collaborate. Obviously, he collaborated, and but they were about his life. Like I'm Still Standing and things like that. Mm-hmm. It seems to be about the fact that obviously he's been through all his drugs, his alcohol, and everything, but he's still standing there. And Tiny Dancer is about someone as well, I believe.
So Bernie Taupin wrote most of the lyrics. So what you have in the instances like Someone Saved My Life Tonight is the perfect example of Bernie Taupin watching Elton go through a life-changing moment, and writing about it from his perspective. There were other writers, but there were few. Tim Rice did the Lion King stuff.
Yes.
But overwhelmingly, it's Bernie Taupin's take on Elton's life. So that's why it's quite unique. The songs that come out are quite because we were just talking about this, is the way we see ourselves as people is different from the way other people.
I was talking about my hair, how I don't like the way it always seems to go to one side, and you know, it's like
I didn't notice it. I thought his hair looked lovely.
Yeah, well, there we go. You explain before you sing the song. You normally do a little spiel about what the song was about, why it was written, and things like that. You know, I've seen quite a few tribute artists, and they just like bang out the songs. It's a bit like a jukebox. You might as well just put an album on. But you actually have you stop and you talk to the crowd. You interact with the crowd. When I saw you at Woking, it was at one point I believe you actually get down into the crowd. And you talk with the crowd, you take selfies and things like that.
Yeah, where possible, because we like to take an audience picture.
Yeah.
In these days of social media, it's really good to show, to be able to post something up on our socials that shows the audience.
Yeah.
There's plenty of pictures of us doing the show and enjoying the show, but if you can put a picture of the audience up, then
it's called "Where's Jimmy?" Basically.
Oh, sometimes it is. If I can get down, then I usually sit.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of band selfies where they're all on stage with the audience behind, and they're obscuring the audience.
Yeah.
But I prefer to, if I can, get down to the audience and sit with them and be in the audience shot. I don't know if it's for better or worse, really, but
I think the audience like that. They like that interaction. I mean, social. You mentioned social media. It's a lot of, you go to some theatres and they go, no pictures, no pictures, no pictures. But bands like yourself and your show, rely on things like that. They rely on people sharing it through social media, don't they?
Yeah, it's beneficial.
It's so, and some of the pictures you've been posting up, they are absolutely amazing. And how people take those shots, I have no idea.
So there is some undiscovered David Baileys out there, if you remember David Bailey. I'm showing my age. But there are undiscovered amazing photographers who capture and frame a real beautiful shot.
And then they edit it as well. So you get black and white drawing edits and things like that.
That was Faye. You're talking about Faye's picture there. Faye Bridgewater, who came to the Brighton show, and she showed me this image that she'd done, and I thought, wow, she put it in black and white or anyway, whatever filter was on it. I thought it looked amazing, so I asked her if it was okay to share, and she said, well, just tag me in. And when I did, I found her Instagram page, and she's an artist. Yeah. She seems to work mainly, I think, with oils, but her work's really good. So I opened up a door to Faye's work. Yeah. So really, it's you really get to meet people in a really interesting way. Yeah. Me and Faye didn't even exchange words that night, but she took this picture, and then I discovered that she was an amazing artist as well. And there are other examples as well, so many that you can. Yeah, it's one of the best things about the job.
And it's like your audience, and your band. I've got a little story to tell. We'll tell you guys in a minute. But they're like family, aren't they? It's like a family atmosphere when you get there. You talk to the audience talks to you. Yep. You talk to the band talks to the audience, and you get the band involved as well. Yeah. The band gets so involved that actually, at one point you walk off stage and they just carry on just doing their.
They cover my costume change. Is what they do. Changes, yes. But that is. It's important to display some of these great costumes that Elton John's been wearing throughout his.
They're all packed up. I was hoping we were going to see a few, but they're all. Packed up.
The best one, the replica of the Bob Mackie feathers, is in its place on stage. That doesn't come to the dressing room because it needs to be in position. So I'll unpack it later. And
do you have like someone collecting all the feathers afterwards? I take it. Do they come off?
No, it's that. Yeah, I'm not that famous. I don't have anyone to do anything for me apart from the sound, which is Kevin Armstrong. Which
you come up with a little dustbuster and just hoovering the stage.
Thankfully, the theatre staff, the long-suffering, patient theatre staff, they tidy up after us when we go, and I think they just send the bill to entertain
all the Coca-Cola and Fanta bottles that are left in the dressing room.
Yes, just Coca-Cola and Fanta. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing else. So I got here a bit early. All right, and I knocked on the stage door, and they said, come in. I said, I'm here to do an interview with Jimmy Love. And they said, unfortunately, he's not here. He's gone out to lunch. Try the local bar. Anyway, so I went out, and I thought, bar. Anyway, so all the bars were closed except for one. Well, then there you were, sat in the corner with your little mate.
Yes.
And I went up to him like a prize fan. I said, excuse me, are you Jimmy Love?
And then the penny dropped. And I realised
you'd forgotten.
I'd forsaken Neil in favour of beer.
Never mind. We had a good chat. I had a latte, he had a beer in there, and we had a good chat. And it's all like now we're having another chat, but in front of the camera. So it's great because I get to know a bit of you about you. You get to know a bit about me, and
it's a good icebreaker.
We exchange phone numbers and things like that. You know, we're best buds now.
That's it.
Best buds.
Yeah, we'll be living together before you know it.
Oh, yeah. Up at Jimmy Love Towers.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah, do you think so?
I think I'm agreeable to it.
So it's a bit far to commute though, because you live up by Blackpool, don't you?
We live just outside Blackpool. Me and Wendy, and the little and Charlie.
Excellent.
We live in a.
How do you cope with families? Obviously, you are on the road a lot, you know. And so, does she come and see the show? Do they come and see the show?
When we're local, they come to the show. Charlie loves it. He gets to go backstage, and if there's a lift in the venue, he'll be obsessed with that. Got a thing about lifts, and so those are always nice times. Although it is actually quite difficult because my attention is divided then between the people I love and my work, which I love, and it's trying to split myself between that. It's one of the things. Daddy needs to go off and do some work now, sort of thing. Yeah. So okay, let's talk about your. Obviously, this is the second interview I've done with. The first one was on screen because we were like miles apart. But I just want to revisit some of the questions, like you playing the piano. Now, when I first saw you, both myself and my lovely wife, Mrs. BT, said, is he playing the piano? Let's watch. And we stared at you playing the piano, and yes, you were. Because some tribute artists, they don't play the instruments, they just fake it. But you actually play the piano. I play the piano, yeah. I didn't at first. In 2007, I joined a show called Legends. And at that point, I couldn't play the piano. And then the following year, in the winter time, we did the entire show on a cruise ship on the Piano Ventura. Was and so they have acoustic pianos. They have these beautiful, brilliant Yamaha acoustic baby grands.
Yeah.
And it became apparent that if you touch the keys on, nobody told me this, if you touch the keys on an acoustic piano, it makes a sound. And I realised very quickly that I'd best learn which are the right keys to press. So then began my journey. Also seeing Elio Pace. Elio Pace came onto the ship, and he did an amazing show.
He's the Billy Joel.
He amongst other things, he does the Billy Joel songbook.
Yeah.
And I watched his show, and I just I said to myself, I've got to start and to do this because he was right and I was right because I've enjoyed it so much, the journey of piano up till now.
Yeah.
And it never ends because it's always, any musician, it's always a work in progress. You're always seeking to express yourself more purely through your instrument. So it's just it's its own gift. And it's great being able to, if someone shouts something out from the audience and I know that I can play it, we can just do it.
You can just do it?
Yep.
Well, I think it's an Elton John song.
Oh yeah, mostly Elton John.
You have started doing a Meatloaf, haven't you? You used to do a Meatloaf. And then you're going back to doing a Meatloaf, which is the one good thing about being a tribute artist. You can sort of go from one artist to another and get this. So you could actually have an Elton John Meatloaf show if you wanted to.
I'd never do the two in one night.
You'd never do the two in one night?
No. I mean, the Rockloaf show it is the music of Jim Steinman and Meatloaf, but it's not like I wear the long wig because it's an important part of it. Without that, it really doesn't look.
Do you wear the flighty shirt as well with the cuffs and everything?
I do have flighty shirts.
And a handkerchief.
Don't do the handkerchief.
You don't do the handkerchief.
Don't do the handkerchief. And I'm not, well,
You're not his size.
Meatloaf was a tall,
big bloke.
a tall guy, yes, 6 foot something with huge shoulders. So, to me, to attempt to look like him would be futile. And in any case, there has to be an essence of yourself when you're doing a tribute. I know that some people do it differently, and I've tried it all different ways, but there has to be an essence of yourself there, because otherwise it's not genuine. People won't warm to you as an
artist.
It's really important to me to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, are there any other artists in the pipeline, or is that just the two your limit at the moment?
No, it was Martin Hayward at Viva in Blackpool, a venue called Viva, a big one. And he asked me if I would do it again, and I really didn't want to, but I thought about it, and the band and the team that I have for the Rocket Man show, that I'm fortunate enough to have, were exactly the right people to do that show. So,
I mean, obviously, when we were in the bar before we came in here, you were with your keyboard player, and he was saying that the passion that people have for the Meatloaf show is unbelievable.
It's a different energy. Yeah. They receive it in a different way. I think possibly because that particular, the writing of Jim Steinman, coupled with the absolutely give everything performance of Meatloaf, is evocative in a way that it's just different. We noticed when we performed our debut show with the Rock Loaf show that it was a completely starkly different energy to what we'd received before. Tom has just arrived with my provisions for the evening.
Your Coca-Cola and Fanta has arrived.
Thank you, Tom. Well, that was very discreet of him.
It was, wasn't it?
That was very quiet. I was panicking, thinking, oh, it's going to be someone else. But Tom knew we were doing this.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, the energy on on the Rocket Man show, has fortunately always been great. We loved it. But we did notice the Rock Loaf show had a completely different energy to it that was intoxicating, and we're keen to roll that out as best we can. That we weren't sure if there was an appetite for it, and I wasn't sure if there was going to be an appetite for it because I wasn't pretending to be Meatloaf.
No.
And then really in the Rocket Man show, I don't pretend to be Elton, although I wear the costumes. It's a show about Elton.
You're just a performer, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're performing Elton's songs, Elton's track. It just so happens that when you're dressed up, you do tend to look up, and you sound like him as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's a very important. Your voice is very close to Elton John, and I think that's a big part of the show. And with the Rocket Man, the show, the Rocket Man, with your band and you playing the piano and the audience. Together with the energy that you provide, you're running around that stage. At one point, I think you were actually standing on the stool playing the piano. You are, it is actually amazing. It's so entertaining to watch.
That was if you read the biographies, and there's many, and of course the most recent one was the one that Elton wrote himself. He said that he was envious of rock guitarists because they were able to move so freely. Their instrument was this thing that they carried, and they were able to express and lunge, and and so his instrument was like a piece of furniture, and he felt, how am I gonna make this interesting?
This around the stage.
And so that's why in the 70s you'll see pictures of him jumping off the stool and his legs are in the air. That was sort of referenced in the Rocket Man movie, because he really wanted to make it more of a rock and roll instrument, and his heroes were Winifred Atwell, who was an amazing lady, Little Richard, who again was such a performer.
And then you've got Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
He did play the piano, and he, I mean, again, you know, he used to fly around the piano like nobody's business as well. So it's just,
like someone possessed, you know. And it was again exciting to watch and you know, very important in developing Elton's style and who he would become.
Yeah. Did you have like a practice room? You know, did you hire like some rooms to rehearse in for the show, or did you just literally, right, here we go, it's booked, let's go and do it?
So before we joined Entertainers as a promoter, so the show had been developing since 2007, and we joined we started working with Entertainers in late 2017. So there'd been a development, you know, certainly for me, and for a large number of the people who are still in the cast now. We'd worked together before on cruise ships. One of the great thing about ships musicians on the cruise ships is they don't know anything. The first time they meet you, they don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
They've never seen your sheet music. If they can get it in advance, that helps them. But they literally play the show from the sheet music to such a standard that you wouldn't realise that that's what was happening. So, particularly with Kev and Steve, who is our drummer today. So Kev Armstrong on guitar and you know, managing the sound along with Alan, and Steve McCrill, who's on drums today. We're both from the cruise ship.
Who hasn't turned up yet?
Steve McCrill's not here.
He's not here yet. I like that. He's en route.
But he's too cool for school. But yeah,
he'll just walk in. My drums, thank you very much.
He's got inflatable drums. He just presses a button and they spring to life.
Little suitcase.
No, he'll be using his electric kit today, I would assume, and which is a lot simpler. It's an amazing kit, but it means that instead of miking up each individual cymbal and drum,
plug it in.
There's a left and right, and Kev's probably already got a preset that he's stored in his desk that works for that.
Because you got your sound. I mean, we got you before your sound check. So you got your sound check. Once your band get here, there's your sound check and everything. You have to go through all those motions to get the show right, and you know, and then obviously you just chill out for a bit.
Everyone goes to dinner, and I start setting my costumes. That's applying the wig.
Do you have like is that a regimented sort of thing? Because a lot of artists they have to do it a certain way because it's a good luck. They have to do this. They have to do that.
No, I'm not particularly superstitious, but yeah, there is a routine to it because I'll set the quick change. I'll set the costumes in here.
I mean, has there been any time with a quick change that it hasn't quite happened? And you
constantly.
You sort of come on. I mean, at one point I've seen you came on stage in a pair of briefs, which I assume was planned. But
that one, I remember that one. Yeah,
with that and the codpiece. I think it's because it was so hot. It was in the summer.
I was that was supposed to be the Stars and Stripes shorts with the gold lame jacket.
Yes.
And a pair of boots with wings on. I didn't realise until I put the shorts on that perhaps being a family show, I should wear the codpiece as well. I thought, no. So I quickly put the codpiece on as well, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's those sort of thing. I mean, your costumes, I take it you've probably got ideas for more costumes, or are your costumes pretty much set now?
They'll always. It's always like they're playing it.
Yeah.
The show is a work in progress.
So it's all forever evolving.
Forever
evolving. Because tonight, obviously, you just have the backdrop, but you have an LED screen and things like that.
That's right. The promoters sometimes send a video wall, and then we're more in those circumstances when we have the video wall. It looks great, but we are regimented in that we have to play exactly in time with the video wall, otherwise it won't make sense. So tonight we have the backdrop. It means musically it's going to be a lot freer.
Yeah.
And we can improvise in a way that is more expressive way to do the show. But yeah, they both got their benefits and drawbacks. Yeah, we don't have the video screen tonight, but we've got Keith Stallard on lights, who is just amazing.
So you're going to have an amazing light show.
Yeah.
I mean, LED lights now, they can do so many things, especially movers and things like that.
He just knows how to make it look. There's two. So my favourites are Keith Stallard and Dan Creasy. I can't mention Keith without mentioning Dan. The pair of them are visual creative geniuses with lights, and
because it's all preset, isn't it? So they come and they get the lights in,
they design it,
and then they plug.
But because every theatre stage or every venue is different, and every what they call the proscenium arch, which is the top and the sides of the frame of the stage, they're all different. So they design it. What they call plotting. So they redesign. They have an idea of what's going to happen, but they have to adjust it for every venue that we do.
It's good, but in some ways, it means you haven't got to worry about it.
I don't ever worry about it when Keith's on or Dan, and we've been blessed with so many great lighting guys. The only sad thing about it is when you're stood in the light that they're creating, you don't realise, unless somebody sends a picture, how amazing it is.
Yeah.
You don't understand what a great job they're doing because you're in it, you can't see it.
Well, I mean, it's all about, it's that show blase thing, isn't it? You know, it's how making you guys look good on stage. And sound good on stage. And they are the unsung heroes of the theatre world, unfortunately, sound and lighting techs.
It's true,
you know, and that's a real shame because basically they do an amazing job.
They do, but it is. I suppose it is a shame that theatre goers maybe don't realise. Not all of them. It's a broad stroke, but many theatre goers don't understand that. These guys who are sat behind him at the front of house desk are making all the magic happen. But I know, so it feels like a little secret garden.
Well, it's nearly time to wrap it up. I just wanted to talk to you about the audiences. Now, you play in front of thousands, and then you've got this little one in Solling you're going to do, which is about 130 people. So the audiences sort of like go from stage. Do you adapt the show, or is it exactly the same show per audience? Yeah,
we adapt the show in ways that we don't really think about, but it's natural. But it would be like having the same conversation with every person that you meet. You just wouldn't, but you wouldn't think about it because we get feedback. We see the audience and we see their what frame of mind they're in just by the bustle and hustle of the room or the silence of the room, whatever. And so one of the most important and most nuanced things about this job is to communicate to the people you have in front of you. You can only talk to the people you have in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't carry on regardless. It's it'd be rude, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, when you stop and there's like one person clapping, you sort of think, okay, we'll have to change it a bit. Let's. Because you essentially you realise you've said the wrong thing. Yeah, but with Elton John, you can't really go that wrong, can you?
That's right. All of this is Elton's work.
Yeah.
None of it is created by us. The bit that we bring is the delivery, and it's always our ambition to deliver these songs or recite these songs, particularly to the fans, in the manner which they want to hear them.
And I think that with Elton obviously coming to the end of his tour now, and he's retiring, you guys are going to keep his music alive.
I hope so. I hope it's seen in that way. Someone once asked me, do I ever get tired of singing the same songs? I don't ever get tired. And it always feels like an expression. And particularly studying Elton's life and reading the stories and reading the biographies and reading Elton's biography, it brings meaning to every one of his songs.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, the thoughts from Bernie's head. And so to be able to express those, I can't foresee that will ever become boring or old, ever.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Jimmy.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. We'll have to meet up again. at some point.
Absolutely.
I mean, what I really want you to do, I want you to come to Camberley, and I want you to do a show at the Camberley Theatre. That for me, that would be
the Camberley Theatre.
The Camberley Theatre. It's a little tiny place in Surrey.
So just in case entertainers are watching, as a promoter,
okay, yeah,
put us in the Camberley Theatre.
Camberley Theatre. You've had acts there before. I know you have. So come on, Camberley Theatre.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Here at SMJ Media Group, we are a non-profit company providing fun, free content for local businesses. If you like our content and would like to support us, please visit buymeacoffee.com/SMJ Media Group and buy us a coffee.